They do got to bring back home ec, for sure. They got rid of it? Yeah. Well, I mean, it was an elective when I was in high school. Um, I've heard from a lot of people they were not made to take home ec. We should start making kids clean classrooms. It's such a like top-down issue, right? Because you have to like fundamentally you have to make them care. And teenagers are the worst demographic for trying to explain the importance of having a clean room. Like at some point when you're in college, you're supposed to realize, holy shit, it's actually so important to like take care of yourself in a basic way. My parents were right about everything. Like, but in high school, no one knows that. You have to at some point in college you realize that, and this is just a human experience. That's just normal. I think that's fine, you know. Though it is, yeah, it is maddening. Like the idea of trying to explain to a 16-year-old the importance of keeping a room clean. All like, there's no way to do this without sounding like something I know I wouldn't have listened to when I was 16. So you basically just have to tank the psychic damage and understand that you are now like on the other side of the cycle. The only like it's a cycle in both directions. It's an Ouroboros, right? Where you round the loop with your death, you know, you reincarnate as a lotus flower or whatever. The only difference is that when you're 16, you don't realize you're part of the cycle, right? When you're 40, you know you're part of the cycle. When you're 16, you're like, I've broken the cycle. Every 16-year-old before me, they clean their room. I'm the one who sees through it. I'm the one who knows it's all bullshit. And then eventually, 24 years later, you turn 40 and you're like, God fucking damn it, man. Why won't they just listen? Do you feel Gen Z, Gen Alpha is uniquely unprepared for the world and meeting their basic needs? I do think we've gotten worse with it. I think we've gotten worse with it, for sure. I'm sure every old person says that, right? Like everyone, you know, Socrates, you know, the youth of today, etc. I'm sure every person says that when they're an adult, but I do feel like that doesn't mean it can't be true, right? Like every old person might get the impression that young people today can't take care of themselves, but that doesn't mean that there can't be any changes over time. I don't know. The cooking thing definitely is like a real, because like, and I don't mean this to like patronize anyone. I really don't, okay? But genuinely, like when I was growing up, I thought the stereotype of recently divorced men who couldn't make food at all and just like microwaved frozen food and made like filled bowls with cereal over and over, I thought that was like a joke. Like it was a joke, and the point was, well, they're inept without their wives. I didn't realize it's a real thing for a lot of people. I didn't realize that. Maybe it's always been an issue, and it just used to be that men and women got married at like 19, and the woman just like tanked the housework. I don't know, but whatever the case may be, I feel like we're pulling the rock. You know, we're revealing a lot of bugs. You know, it's not nearly as much a problem with women. I think that it is getting worse with women too, but I agree that like men are uniquely fucked on this. Young men, yeah. I probably, it's like a nihilism thing. I don't know. I don't know. It's like a social circle thing. You've got like guys who are lonely and they don't really have anyone over, so they don't really get an outside look into the how fucked their living situation is. It's like that male living space meme. There's nothing biological about that. There's nothing like innate about men having a living room that's just a folding chair and a TV sitting on the ground with like a PS5 connected to it, right? Like, I don't know. Society just tells men that it's fine for them to be lazy and messy. I don't know if it's that. It might be that. I think that it's more, a lot of these guys haven't developed the mental muscles, the reward centers that make you feel good when you make your life better, right? Like some people don't have those. When you get older, they're more developed, where you're like, I took the trash out, the house is now better, I have less to do, things have improved, I'm getting dopamine, you know? That's a good thing. It's supposed to work that way. It's like a survival mechanism, probably. And I feel like more and more people, it's like a depressive symptom thing, like anhedonia. I think they're not getting that feedback loop, you know? I don't know. Yeah, too many people watching Asmongold. What's wrong with male living space? I always thought it could be improved a bit overall, but I don't see a problem with not having much in your room. Because it's wretched. The problem is that it's wretched. I'm sorry. I'm not you can't put like a positive spin on it, you know. If your house is just like a box collecting dust, so yeah, soulless and empty, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good for you. You know? It's not good for you. You should want to enrich your environment. You know, that's like Marx said, species being, like the thing humans do that makes us like kind of unique is we try to shape our environment. And if a person gives up on shaping their environment, what that reads to me is that you're depressed, you know? Now, it's not morally bad to be depressed, right? We're humans, you know? It is morally wrong, though, to kind of like politically or emotionally rationalize it. This sounds dangerously close to commodity fetishism. No, it doesn't. No, not really. Has nothing to do with, you know, buying expensive jerseys or whatever and putting them up to the wall. I'm just talking about personalizing a space. Trust me, okay? Marx would not approve of your weaponization of that term. I don't know. It's so easy how simple that is to do, though, like even just having a plant. And yet, like, a lot of guys don't even do that. So like, clearly it's not that easy, right? Marx notoriously lived like shit. Yeah, but Marx didn't live in an empty box. Marx wouldn't have argued that putting a painting up on the wall is commodity fetishism. That's just not what that means. Painting some paintings right now? Well, that's nice. Or is it easy, but modern society incentivizes guys to be lazy, maybe? I just don't think they value the things that make your life better. You know, you kind of take that for granted, the idea that, well, like, if something improves, you feel good about it. But it's not necessarily how people work, right? Like a mental block of some kind. I will also say we could probably do to, like, shame guys a little bit for it, you know? Like, social pressure sometimes can be a very valuable thing, and there probably is, like, unironically a bigotry of low expectations with men, to an extent, when it comes to these sorts of things, where there are lots of antisocial behaviors men can demonstrate that get written off as like a, you know, oh, well, you know, like frat boy living or whatever, when it's like, well, no, it's actually just like disgusting and destructive, you know? Obviously, it's not only men that get this, but I feel like men do get a little bit more leeway. I feel like as a guy, you should be a little embarrassed if you have like a male living space kind of room, you know? Like I would be, you know? Trans people actually have a lot of insight into the differences here. Yeah, but they're annoying on Twitter, so I would say it balances out, and we listen to me on this one. I think a lot of it is male living spaces, is that we're broke. I'm a gay man. When I first moved, my room was barren. Okay, the being broke contributes to it, but it doesn't cost anything to make your house, or it effectively costs nothing to make your house. Like, you have something, okay? You're not literally like a vagrant who just got a house and you have no personal possessions. Like I mean, unless we're talking about the kind of poverty where you own literally nothing and you can't go to Goodwill or anything, right? Like I don't buy that. It doesn't really cost much to decorate, you know? I mean, some kinds of decorations, like expensive furniture, sure. You remember that picture from Kanye's living room with a PlayStation on the floor of the empty room? Yeah, it's incredibly funny that even at that level of wealth, you would have that behavior demonstrated. It's incredibly funny. What could a lamp cost? $10? I mean, potentially, yeah, or less, depending on where you're getting it from. Yeah. But it doesn't have to be a lamp. Vaush, people would rather spend a few grand on nice electronics and some eat-out bullshit than on nice furniture. It's that simple. When did I say nice furniture? Do you think the problem with this screenshot is that there's no nice furniture? Some people getting defensive in a way I think that reveals perhaps the nature of the issue. You know? Okay, I'm looking at r/male living spaces. And what is it with these people posting like 70 photos? You got to dial that shit down, okay? Hold on. When did people start posting to male living spaces like actual living spaces and not their shithole empty rooms? Now they're all bragging. Look for bachelor? No, because they're bragging. Oh, here we go. 18, my life's a mess. There you go, chat. There's you. Godspeed. I like the Miku ceiling poster. Jesus Christ. Not going to be 18 male for long. I'm still confused on why this is bad. Like, what if you're just not interested in owning outside the essentials? There's no way to explain this to people without sounding like the kind of grumpy, out of touch, conformist that that you'll argue I am. But my thought from your message is that you're just depressed and don't want to own up to it. Like, if you're in a position where you feel the need to take defense publicly for the idea of like not decorating your house at all, my guess is that you feel something about your space is off, but you don't, there's like an emotional reconciliation that needs to take place before you can address that fully. You have ADD, so this is unsettling to you and is fine. I'm sorry. Do you think the problem with this is, wait, what? Do you think the problem with this is there's a neuroatypical condition that I possess that is causing me to poo-poo this otherwise well-decorated room? Like everyone, all the neurotypical people would walk in, they'd be like, yeah. I don't know why the fuck I'm arguing with, like, teenagers and chat. See, you can't post on r/male living spaces when you have a nice living space, because then you're not proving the point that I'm trying to make here. Like, if your place looks nice, then why are we talking right now? This is the power of shaming people, though? Well, maybe we're setting in motion, you know, some people are gonna... Do you believe in area rugs? Do I believe in gravity? This feels like pointless gender war stuff, but leftist. Who's gender warring? Also, women can have male living spaces. That's why trans women often feel like they're getting clocked by their bedroom pics, you know? They know it. It's not a gender thing, okay? Male living space transcends gender, you know? But that's something they gotta fight past. Upgraded bamboo house? What is this, fucking Minecraft? Yeah, okay, buddy. Not the best positioning on the couch, but, you know. Oof. Oof. The goddamn cement ceiling. Nah, that ceiling's dope as hell. If you play into it, sure. Yeah, if you play into it, you know? You could make it work, but you would need this, like, industrial, you know, it's definitely harder to work around. Brutalist moment. Not what brutalism is, but that's okay. I know you saw concrete. VGGers when they see a paved driveway. Huh. Well, that's certainly a male living space. All right. I feel like at a certain point, decorating your home does just become a game of feigning opulence. I think the key is being authentic with it. Yeah, you should be authentic with it. I just think that, like, a lot of people, how do I put this? A lot of people are way too comfortable being mediocre. Like, we're seeing this in every element of society. The only way in which people are encouraged to succeed is, like, economically, you know? But people are comfortable being stupid as fuck. Weirdly, people are feeling a greater pressure than before to be physically fit because there's a lot of, like, sexual insecurity that plays into it. But there are guys out there that'll be at the gym for an hour every day and then will come home to a house with no lamps, you know? And it's not that they don't have the money or anything. It's that, like, they in their head, they have, like, a very specific idea of what masculine success looks like, and it doesn't involve a well-decorated home. And I do think there's some chauvinism in that, you know? I do think, like, there's got to be something going on up here. If you're like a big, like, you know, self-improvement fitness guy, and you're out at the gym, and you're out on your grind set, you're working your tech job, but you don't know how to cook, you don't know how to clean, and you don't decorate. It's like, you want a woman to do this work for you, don't you? Like, all you people in chat, all you guys who are like, well, I don't really mind a house being not decorated. Sure. But if you lived with a woman who was decorating it well, you'd like that, right? Like, you don't want to decorate. I'm not saying you're consciously pushing the work off onto a woman, and I'm generalizing a lot. I do think, though, there's this idea of, like, it's nice in the abstract, but it's not my thing, right? And I think to an extent that's normal. For example, I put a certain amount of work into cooking, which isn't a tremendous amount, but I try to make nice meals, you know. But if I had a partner who was like really good at cooking, I would benefit from that, sure. But I think there's an extent, there's like a point past which that becomes bad. Like if my way of cooking is you've got the rice cooker with the rice, you're making your beans, your pasta, whatever, like basic, simple staple meals, you know? And then I get a beautiful fucking partner who cooks like nice food for me. I don't think that necessarily reflects a bad attitude on my part. But if I was just microwaving frozen dinners and eating cereal, I feel like somewhere up here I'm thinking like, damn, I wish someone else would fix me. I wish someone else would complete me. Does that make any sense? There's a point of like ineptitude past which it feels like you're stunting yourself with the expectation that someone else is there to pick it up a little bit, right? Like some people are cleaner than others, but there are some people who do not clean enough. All right, we've been on this for a while. Men don't yearn. Men should get into yearning, I think. Can you rate my flat? Jesus, what are you, wealthy? You know a motherfucker is wealthy when they have the money to have this few things. You piece of shit. With your well-crafted, well-cultivated minimalist aesthetic, you know perfectly well that you've done a good job crafting your aesthetic, okay? You're looking for fucking you piece of shit tech Silicon Valley six-figure salary motherfucker. I don't know. I think in some social circles, it's just normal to spend money on burrito taxis instead of home improvement and decor and learning how to cook. I just think that's bad, basically. Okay. We need to move the fuck on.